Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Firestarter, and this is the new version of this Stephen King novel. This originally had Drew Barrymore as a kid back in the 80s, and this version is coming from director Keith Thomas and coming out in theaters and on Peacock, and starring Zac Efron as a dad. I don't like that. But this story focuses on a young girl who tries to understand how she mysteriously gained the powers to set things on fire with her mind. And as it turns out that her parents also have their own powers, with Zac Efron being able to influence people, and Sydney Lemmon, who plays the mother, also having her own powers. And this is one of those kinds of films that, like, how do I want to put this? This feels like the pilot of a TV show, and doesn't quite feel as satisfying as, like, a full movie. And I feel like that's how I felt as the credits started to roll. And I'll talk about the credits in a bit, because there's something else I wanted to talk about. But it just felt like this film never felt like it went into the next gear. Like, there's obviously action, and it's really well done effects, and it's grotesque seeing, like, these people and animals and stuff like that, like, scorched in flames and stuff like that. And those kinds of things, like, it really unnerves you, and you're just like, holy crap. But from a story perspective, the two biggest things that I felt were, like, nothing unexpected happens. Like, this leans into, like, this is exactly how I expected this to play out, with this, like, tragic story of this little girl with her fire powers. And what happens to her family throughout this film is not unexpected at all, in terms of, like I mentioned, this feels like a pilot trying to set up for something bigger. And it's just like, of course it plays out that way. And also it feels like this movie just zips through everything without really taking a time to, like, dig in and really appreciate what's going on in each scene. And in general, I feel like this film is entertaining, and it has some thrilling moments with, like, the pyrokinesis, and, like, Kurtwood Smith makes brief appearances in the film that I felt like he's just a great addition into, like, this one particular role that he plays. But even the antagonist, it's like, what the hell's their motivation? Just like, oh, we want this kid's powers, wah wah. And it's just like, okay, whatever. Evil Science Corporation. And, like, it felt like the same week. The biggest weakness of, like, Logan was that it was just, like, an evil science organization. And, like, boom, there it is. Same thing in this movie. And you do have Zac Efron, who I feel like is trying real hard to offer up some real emotional moments. You have Kiera Armstrong, who plays this young girl, Charlie. You have the Rainbird, played by Michael Greyeyes, who is, I know, was in the Rutherford Falls show that I really enjoyed. And, like, he doesn't have a whole lot of depth, but, like, he does a fine job as, like, the stoic, like, dangerous character trying to hunt them down and stuff like that. But that's the thing, it really just leans into a bunch of tired tropes, doesn't really offer up anything unique or interesting. So in the end, it's kind of forgettable and just okay. And I feel like there's a lot more of those for Blumhouse lately. It makes me sad. But the most amazing thing about this movie is John Carpenter's score, because he composed this movie and absolutely killed it, doing this with his son and collaborator. And the score in this makes every scene better and made me want to sit through the whole entire credits, because it's like, yes, this is a John Carpenter score. And it just fit the mood, and it fit the mood that Blumhouse was going for, with, like, this retro style horror thriller kind of thing. And, like, if it wasn't for the score, this would have been so much worse, for me at least. But, like, that score, I'm going to be listening to it. But in the end, overall, I just never really kicked it into the next gear to really entice you. And then it leaves you open for, like, okay, there's stories to be had in the future, I guess. But, like, you're kind of just like, how interested am I, though? But those are my thoughts on Firestarter. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.